Welcome back to Hot Take with Callum. You win 2-0?
No. You know what this is, Terry. You sing it.
You joined us 20 times. We're twins now. We're twins. I am gonna. Do you know what's really funny, right?
You know I'm gonna be shameless all summer, Terry. You know how this goes.
And look, you should celebrate it. Like I've said, like you guys, you've achieved it. It's a great achievement. The only element I find interesting is when people keep saying, "Oh, United have been knocked off their perch." I was like, "No, we've got 20 each."
We kind of joined you on.
We're sitting on the perch together, and it's not even Liverpool fans. It's been City. You can't sing 20 times anymore. I've still got 20 league titles.
Yeah. Neither can you.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You man have got 8? What are you talking about? Like it's been a weird one. I've always found it strange. Liverpool fans should be given a stick ripping into us. But unless you've got 20 league titles yourself, what are you laughing at? Liverpool just pull further clear of you morons. It's hilarious. Like, it's sort of like hanging on your coattails. It's the rat in the Chinese New Year story. They're rats. They're being rats. They're just jumping on your shoulders. But yeah, how are you, mate? You good?
Bro. I can't complain. Liverpool win. I wanted Eubank Jr. to win. He won. Arsenal lost.
The fight was amazing, wasn't it?
Inter Milan Barcelona game as well. Bloody hell, what a game!
What a week of sport we have had. What a week of sport. Hoyland scored. Like rare. There's some rare things that happened.
Machado, Gary wins in UFC. Like it's actually been a sick week for sport. It really has.
I wouldn't say it to his face, but he's a cuck, that guy, isn't he? He's a bit of a cuck. But yeah, it's.
I wouldn't say it to his face.
No, I wouldn't say it. I'm only joking. I said something about John Jones.
You might see him before he sees me, too. I'm not gonna.
No, he might. No, I actually turned around right the other day. John Jones said 100 John Joneses could beat a gorilla, and I said the first John Jones is going to get his head split open. The rest are going to run away, scared. Yeah. And then I very quickly apologized to John Jones, and I'm very sorry because you are the most dangerous man in the world, and Gary the same. I do say this to a lot of people that are casual fight fans, especially MMA.
Yeah,
don't talk about the fighters like they're football players. It's a different world. Because I saw people at the weekend about Conor Benn, and they were like, "Oh, Conor Benn got scored, he got slapped up." It's like, listen, you don't understand fighting. It's even when you get knocked out and you get beat. It's different from a team getting beat 5-6-0 in football.
Yeah.
It's a different. I don't treat fighters how I treat footballers getting beat. I think it's just the bravery you need to get in that ring or that octagon, man. It's crazy. Big up, Gary. Hope you're good, mate. Loads to talk about on the show today, people. So get like buttons hit. Get yourself subscribing. Speaking of Gary's, the first take here is from Gary, who was the target of Liverpool fans at the weekend. The massive target. Let's hear what he's had to say here.
Always maintain Manchester United are the biggest football club in this country.
Even now?
And that will never, 100%, the biggest football club in this country, Manchester United. It's not even a debate. However, the most successful club now, at this moment in time, in this period, and I did add those words on the end, is Liverpool. They've won 20 titles and they've won more European Cups, and they're the two trophies that we all measure ourselves by. What I haven't enjoyed in the last 24, 40 hours, and I haven't answered to it, is where people have transmitted that into being that Manchester United, that Liverpool are the biggest club. They're not the biggest club. I mean, They're not. I don't know if
phone's out.
Let's put it in ChatGPT.
Let's ask him.
Who is the biggest football club in England? Historically, Liverpool and Manchester United are neck and neck. Manchester City are currently the biggest on the pitch. Commercially and globally, Manchester United. No, I don't want to break down. Who is the biggest, though? You muppet. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I've pushed it, and look what happens. If we have to name one club,
I think I can see in bold it says Manchester United. So there you go, Gary.
Absolutely.
You are.
Obviously, a little bit of fun, right? So, Liverpool fans watching, please calm down. It's a little fun, this show, okay? Relax. Do you think there's a difference between being the biggest and being the most successful? Do you feel there is a clear distinction between those two things on a real level?
Absolutely. I know for a fact now that me doing this, I'm going to turn a lot of Liverpool fans against me. But again, I'm just going to speak my truth, what I believe is the truth. There is a big difference. And I'll use two different teams to explain this. In the last 15 years, Arsenal and Man City. Arsenal are a bigger club than Man City globally. I don't think anyone can dispute that in terms of real revenue, real commercialness, etc. I know I'm going to now annoy a City fan, but it is what it is. In terms of realness, Arsenal are bigger than Man City, but I don't think anyone can argue over the last 15 years who has been the more successful.
More successful. Yeah.
It's literally the same with Liverpool and Man United. Now, where I disagree with Gary Neville is that we can't become the biggest. I think we can. I think we're the only team that can peg you down for that. But I don't think we're there yet. I think in terms of success, I think in terms of revenue now, I think we're starting to match you. But when people hear that, they're like, oh, well, if we're matching them on revenue and we want more successful, bigger. Man United have been bringing in this type of revenue for 20 odd years. We've only started bringing in this sort of revenue. So they've been millionaires for years. We've only just become millionaires. We can't sit at that table at the moment.
And I think as well, look, Liverpool. I agree with Gary Neville calling out the way his words were twisted. I thought that was poor from the mainstream media and Liverpool fans at the weekend, in the sense of, I thought it was really big and honest of him to say that you're the most successful team and the debate is over for a period. I think a United legend, an ex-captain and lifelong fan saying that, I thought that should have been met with fair play, Gary Neville, for being honest. But instead it was twisted into Gary Neville just said that Liverpool are the biggest and the debate is over forever. Twisting it like that, I just thought, it's really funny. I was watching a clip.
Does that surprise you, Terry? We've been on the internet for a while now. Does it really surprise you?
It doesn't, right? Because I feel it shows an insecurity. And what I mean by on the biggest conversation, I was listening to Pippin talk about the greatest NBA player of all time. And what he basically said, because obviously people were comparing, it's always LeBron versus Jordan. Now, I don't have a dog in the fight per se, because I don't watch enough basketball to have even a say on it. But what Pippin said is essentially, Michael Jordan has never once said that he is
the greatest.
The greatest. He doesn't need to. People do it for him. And I'm only taking what Pippin said here, so don't shoot me down. But he essentially said, LeBron has on a number of occasions said, I am the greatest. And he said, if you have to self-proclaim it, maybe there's at the very least an insecurity there that maybe you're not, right? And I sort of feel that way a little bit, that the fact that Liverpool fans and the media had to change the wording and the things he said to prove their point. I always find that if we're debating who's better, Salah or Cristiano Ronaldo, if I have to lie about things about Salah, I've already lost the conversation. I've lost the debate. And maybe that's just how I view things. But for me, you guys are more successful at the moment. Yes, we've got more FA Cups, which I think hold weight, but those 6 Champions Leagues versus 3, same amount of league titles now. And I know everyone sees this differently. Some people, it's like Hassam thinks that Champions Leagues are much harder to win, much more prestigious, and way more than league titles. Most people in football historically have never thought that the league is generally weighed a lot more.
Butter, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's the bread and butter. But listen, on a real level, I enjoyed seeing Gary Neville get cooked. I'm not going to lie, because he said a lot of stupid things this year. If we are being,
so let's cut you on that. I think this is what I think Liverpool fans are doing. Look, I've done it myself, and I'll probably continue doing it throughout the summer, because I think a lot of people disrespected us going into the season. I think any little clip, any little thing we see now, we're just like, we're going to get on someone's neck for this, because we heard at the beginning of the season, you're going to fall out of top 4. Salah's going to leave. Virgil's going to fall off. We heard so much going into the season that it's like, now, whenever we hear someone try and backtrack or backpedal, we're going to get at them, and we're not going to let up, essentially. So, but we need to pick our fights.
But the thing for me is, I'm getting a lot of shit when I feel like 50 Cent. I feel like 50 Cent, because I was one of the only people that predicted you to even be in a title race.
The computer say, Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what did he say fuck me for? Nelly fuck
I don't get it. I don't get why people are coming for me. But this is the thing about narratives being changed, right? So if I was to ask you who are the top 3 most successful managers in Europe, in European competition, so Champions League, Cup Winners' Cup, Europa League, Super Cups, all the major European trophies, who would you say are the top 3 most successful in terms of total trophies won in Europe? Who would you say were the top 3?
I'm going to say Ancelotti's in there, right?
Potentially. I'll wait till I get you 3.
Mourinho.
Keep going.
I'm trying to think who the other one.
Mourinho comes in number 8.
8.
8th.
I was going to say Zidane, but he hasn't won anything apart from. I say hasn't won anything apart from the Champions League, but he's only been in the Champions League
and the Super Cups. He's got 5. He's in 6th place.
Ancelotti's definitely got to be in there then.
Ancelotti's number 1 with 8.
So then we're looking at how far back are we going?
The entire history of European football.
Ancelotti.
One staring you right in the face. He's currently in managing in the Premier League.
Currently Pep in it.
Pep's got 7, so 3 Champions Leagues, 4 Super Cups. So it's all the trophies combined. This is.
The Bosquet's not in there, is he?
I don't even think he's in the top 15. I'll have a look though. No, he's not in the top 15.
Rijkaard's not in there, is he?
No.
Fergie in there?
Sir Alex Ferguson is the 3rd most successful manager in European football history. But the reason that you didn't think that straight away is because what's been pushed by the media for 25, 30 years is that Sir Alex underachieved in European football. It's, and even if you took the Super Cups away, right, he would have 4 European trophies. Pep then would have 3 European trophies. Now, Pep's would weigh heavier because they're 3 Champions Leagues versus 2.
I was just going to say I think that's what the problem is, because here's the thing: you can only win the competitions you're in, right? Yeah. Let's be real about it. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man, none of these teams want to be in Europa. If you're in it, you want to win it, but they don't want to be in it. So if you're in the hardest competition for the whole duration of your management, it's going to be harder to win it.
And I understand that. However, the reason why I use Sir Alex as an example is the UEFA Cup and the Cup Winners' Cup were not considered small competitions throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They were huge because only the winners of the league went into the Champions League. The Cup Winners' Cup was bigger than UEFA Cup. People forget this. It was much bigger. It was, if you came second in the league and qualified for the UEFA Cup, but you won the FA Cup, teams opted for the Cup Winners' Cup. In fact, I only learned this yesterday, just doing some research on this, is that lots of nations in Europe didn't even have, prior to the Cup Winners' Cup. The Cup Winners' Cup started in 1916. For 8 years, it was so big, so popular and successful, it challenged the European Cup, now the Champions League, so much. Loads of nations invented their own domestic cup competition
to get in,
so they could get in it. And I just think this is where narratives and understanding the history of the game is so important. And there is a difference between successful and biggest. There is no doubt about it. But equally, it's important to not twist Gary Neville's words, because for years we've been told Sir Alex underachieved in European football. He has 2 Cup Winners' Cups, which were massive. I'll give you another example. People don't realize Arsenal have got a UEFA Cup or a Europa League. They get disrespected. It was called the Intercity Fairs Cup. That became, I literally hear on professional.
I do that.
Yeah, no, people, you do it for fun. I hear pros actually talk about it like it was a pre-season tour. It's like, no, you've got to know your history. But look, viewers, give us your thoughts and opinions on that. On Liverpool, though, I heard this, and this is where I've got Liverpool's back 1,000%. Take a little listen.
A lot of people who have attached, it's a funny thing, isn't it? Like, they almost feel like that they've won something. Like they're winners.
We have won something. Won the Premier League?
You haven't really, have you? You haven't really.
We have just won the Premier League.
You haven't physically won anything yourself.
Like a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, even if you're a fan.
Telling fans not to celebrate when the Premier League.
No, I'm just saying, like, the way some of years are going on is like you've actually won something, like that. It's actually done something for your life.
Joey Barton here. I'm assuming he's not a Liverpool supporter. I know he's a Scouser, but I mean, he's having a pop at you guys.
A Liverpool fan, bro.
No one wants him. I don't think his own mum wants him. Yeah. But I hope she's alive when I said that. But I mean, is this just, in your opinion? He can't believe this. Surely this is pure rage bait to try and make people do what we've just done and talk about it.
It's Joey Barton, isn't it? That's kind of all he lives for now, is to rage bait, because no one really cares about his footballing career. No one cares about his opinions. No one likes him as a person. What else can he really do to stay relevant apart from rage bait? His opinions are crap. As a human being, he's crap. Like, what else has he got? Like, okay, we're fans, so we haven't physically lifted the trophy. So let me get this straight. If we can't speak about his brother, but let's say his family member won a trophy. Let's say one of his family members.
You can't think about his brother. Sorry, that was over my head to begin with.
Yeah, let's say one of his family members won a boxing world title. is he not allowed to celebrate them because only his family member won that? So only his family member can celebrate, and the rest of them have got to shut up and sit down. What are we doing there?
Yeah, this is look, there are normal everyday content creators that do what Joey Barton's doing here. It's taking sort of like he's taking something that you know what a lot of the content creators would say. He's factually correct though, isn't he? That you hear that phrase a lot now from people online. He's factually correct, and it's like, yes, it's a fact that no Liverpool fan directly won the league in terms of kicking the ball into the back of the net, saving penalties, etc. But let us at the same time, those same people will say, didn't Arsenal's fans let Arsenal down on Tuesday night by creating no atmosphere and not helping the team? And that's my problem with these rage baiters. When you and it's why when you look at them, it's they won't do certain shows, they won't talk about certain topics, they keep themselves in their echo chambers, because as soon as you start to pull on the thread of their nonsense,
shreds in a debate.
Oh, they all do. They don't have an argument, and I'm going to back Liverpool 110% on this. They, as a club, deserve this season's success. They FSG probably not getting as much credit as I think they deserve, but that's because I've had a massive focus for 5-6 years on the way clubs run in that kind of club-centric way, away from managers being the focal point. They've done a great job this year with fixing some of the issues that they created, you know, with the power dynamic with sporting directors, etc. But Slot's been phenomenal. The players have been amazing. But the Liverpool supporters financially have backed the club, vocally have backed the club, and I think if you were to ask Liverpool fans honestly, players honestly, they do feel you as a 12th man in so many of those games. Yeah. All those close games this season, home and away, Liverpool fans played their part. And Joey Barton here, for me, I think he does not believe a single word that he is saying. He is just trying to goad Liverpool fans into sharing his content, because all publicity is good publicity. So the reason I've shared this clip today is simply to say, don't give him any air. Don't share don't share his content. This is actually the best. I say this before, right?
All the time I say this.
If you want to shut someone up, ignore them. The more you ignore someone, one, the less power they have. Two, they go away. And I've said that for years about it. Doesn't matter who the content. Like you see, like the Andrew Tate maybe be a little bit too big, but the more the mainstream media tells young people not to listen to him, you know they're going to go and listen to him, right? You know, if your daughter's seeing a young man who's not a particularly nice guy and you want her to stay away from him, don't force it, because that will, the psychology of it, you'll push her towards him. Yes. I don't understand how people ain't learned this shit by now, bruv.
Me neither. It's annoying because even on streams, I'll say this. I'll be like, oh, you don't like this person's opinion. Don't retweet or repost about it. And if you want to do that for your own personal gain, go for it. But then don't moan when that person becomes a bigger person and gets more of a voice, because ultimately you're giving them that voice. If I don't like an opinion on Twitter, do you know what I do, Terry? Scroll past it.
I just mute it. The mute button is better than the block button. Do you know who I call out a lot though, bruv? Are all these mutants, right? Who go, mate, I can't. I blocked you 7 times. I've told the algorithm I don't want to see your stuff, and all I see is your stuff. No, every single person I've muted and every single YouTube channel that I've ever said not interested in, I have never seen it again. You're lying. What you do is you seek out things you don't like and then moan about them. And that for me is one of the weakest, most beta things you could ever do. Why? If I don't like someone's content, I do not even I call TalkSport out, and people go, "But why'd you call them out?" Because they're professional pundits who control the narrative. Why do I call Sky Sports out? Because we pay thousands of pounds a year to listen to what they've got to say, and they push childish schoolyard agendas. So I call it out. If there's a football fan content that I don't like, you look at all my fan channel reviews in the last 3, 4, 5 years since I kind of came to this conclusion. Even if I disagree with what's being said, I'm like, oh, that's Arsenal hate. That's ridiculous about Liverpool. Oh, you're just making up lies about United. I still do it through the guise as we're fans, and it's a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
But people just stop giving people like Joey Barton the airtime, because it's just, the thing is, he's actually an intelligent man. And I think he could actually create, whether you like him or not as a person, he's intelligent. He could probably create compelling and engaging content without that kind of bullshit. He's got the ability to. He's got the money to as well.
You're giving him too much credit saying he's intelligent.
Maybe he can't. Maybe he can't. maybe he can't. I mean, you know what I mean. But
I'm probably the wrong person to speak to about the Joe.
No,
Barton.
I hear you. I feel like I know he's done some terrible things.
Yeah, he's just.
But people that do bad things are not necessarily unintelligent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
It's more. But then, as you say, maybe this is the way he keeps himself in the limelight a little bit.
I think it is, because let's be honest. If he sat down and had a constructive chat, the first thing people are going to do is, but it's Joe Barton. Who cares about his opinion? He could say the most factually correct thing, and people just go, "Yeah, it's Joe Barton. Though, look what he did X, Y, and Z." By him doing the rage bait, it kind of fuels everything he's done previously. It gives him a purpose in his mind.
Yeah, sorry, I just got a weird email come through. So no, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with what you're saying there, 100%, mate. Viewers, give us your opinion. Let us know what you think and feel. This stat has come out about Arsenal. Arsenal have failed to win any of their last 7 semi-final matches in all competitions. So 5 losses, 2 draws, and have failed to score in the last 6 in a row. A damning statistic for Mikel Arteta, a damning statistic for Arsenal. How do you see the second leg going? Will they learn from this first game? Will they score a goal? Can they overcome the adversity? What do you think?
They can definitely overcome PSG. It's the tie's not over. Anyone thinks the tie's over is crazy because, one, the away goals rule doesn't mean anything anymore. And if we're sitting there saying Arsenal can't get 1 goal to take it to extra time and penalties, then it's kind of what we're doing there. Like, Arsenal are absolutely capable of doing that. In terms of the statistic on the surface, it looks terrible, right? Just like it did before Klopp won the Champions League, it looked terrible, his record in finals. But what's the context behind it? Because as you were doing that, I started writing down, thinking back, who have they lost to in semi-finals? So they lost 2 times to Newcastle this season in semi-finals. Newcastle went on to win the trophy against Liverpool. So, I mean, can we really cuss Arsenal too much about that? Yes, the manner in which they went out was probably not the greatest, but they still lost to the eventual winners. PSG have knocked out Man City this season, have knocked out Liverpool so far, and could potentially knock out Arsenal and get to a final. If that happens, can you really say that they've bottled it against a crap team? I can't remember who the other four games are in the semi-finals. In fact, actually, us in the Carabao Cup in the 22-23 season, in the 21-22 season, I want to say. So they did that. But again, we went on to win the whole thing. So they're not losing to just scrubs. They're losing to teams who effectively go on to win it. Now, again, the record isn't great, but they're not just losing to randoms. They're losing to top quality teams. So again, I'm not someone who wants to defend Arsenal. Everyone knows me. I love to banter Arsenal and Arsenal fans. But again, sometimes we have to look at the context behind it. Because if I was to just say, I don't know, I'll use an example. Like, Liverpool have lost 6 games this season. You go, oh, that's crap. But if the games were against Man United away, Chelsea away, then you'd be like, okay, I get who they've lost to. I think sometimes you've got to cut a bit deeper into the cake and find out what the ingredients are.
Yeah, and I will say as well, I think what they've done with those semi-final statistics is they're sort of... So, for instance, they've played Villarreal, that's 2 games. That was a bad one. It's one, yeah, but it's 1 tie, but it's 2 games. Does that make sense? And they have had some poor. It's not a great omen. It's not a great omen when you read that. It is, interestingly though, a conversation I've become very tired with has been Arteta in and Arteta out, and I'm tired of it when he's doing well. We were right. We were right. We were right. I'm tired of it when he's doing poorly. We were right. We were right. We were right.
Yeah.
This is where there needs to be, but this is why I'm tired of it, because this is the moment, not to say sack him or keep him per se, but to have a conversation about Arteta, because how you perform, and I have to keep the same energy, and I will. I look at someone like a Harry Kane, and I've watched his performances in quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals, and I think how you perform in those games is directly correlates to how good you are as a football player and your legacy.
Yeah.
For instance, you look at Donnarumma in the knockout stages so far.
Been a monster.
if he has another great performance in Paris and stops Arsenal scoring 2 or 3 goals, if in the final he keeps every Yamal shot out or every Thuram shot out and they go on to win it, what he has done individually in those games is standout. Yeah. But I also think the same for managers. And Arteta did a fantastic job tactically against Real Madrid in the quarterfinals. I'm intrigued to see what he can do in this second leg, because there comes a point, and I've been judging Arsenal and Arteta for the last 2 years on the trophies they win. The first 3 years, they got the FA Cup in there, which was fantastic, but that was about how are you rebuilding? Are you fixing the culture? Are you making the team not just ready to have a little title challenge here and there? I think Arsenal will become a team that we can see consistency in. It's now about, can they get over the hurdle? And to do that, you've got to start winning semi-finals. And I think it's right to start to judge Arteta on that. That doesn't mean you undo all the other excellent things that he's done and helped the football club with, but there does become a cut-off point. And I think the problem is we don't hear this conversation be had articulately and sensibly, because it often gets hijacked by Arteta out, Arteta in, and it's just a fight over 2 egos. Actually, the fight is no longer about Arsenal and the manager. It's about, I need to be right about something, as opposed to anything else. And you know this because I got a lot of abuse when Arsenal lost on Tuesday. I'm like, guys, I predicted them to go out in this tie.
You say you got abused?
Oh, I get abused all the time. You said
you love Arsenal, though, so I can understand it.
Yeah. You said Arsenal was scary. Yeah, I did 3 years ago. I've played on it a little bit since to wind a few people up. But I'm like, I predicted them to go to go out this round.
Funny enough, you say that. I get it as well. I predicted Arsenal to win the league this season, and I also predicted them to get to the final of the Champions League. And I've got it this season. I'm like, guys, I'm a Liverpool fan. Like, I'm over the moon they haven't won the league, because it means we have. But going into the season, Liverpool hadn't signed anyone apart from Chiesa. We hadn't fixed any of the issues in that we thought we had from last season. Arsenal had added to their squad. I think it was a fair assessment to say that we thought Arsenal would finish above Liverpool going into the season. Hasn't panned out that way, but I think it was a fair thing to say at the beginning.
No, of course it is. And I understand the banter, and I get it, and I can personally take it. It is what it is. It's a little bit of fun as an example. But where I draw the line is, like, we still need to have honest conversations. And it's difficult as well, because quite a few of the Arsenal fans that I know and respect, their team loses the game and you don't see them for a little while. They kind of go away, and it's like, well, it doesn't help with the conversations when you're not around, as an example. But the second leg's going to be, how do you honestly see it going? Do you think they will do it? I mean, I know they can do it, but what's your gut saying in terms of will they or won't they?
It's tough, because we played PSG away from home. And bro, I can't remember the last time we were dominated like that, like from 0 to 90 minutes. And we snuck out there of a win. God knows how we snuck out there of a win. But at Anfield, they didn't play as well as they did in the first leg, and they won the game. So sometimes for me, a lot of it depends on Partey coming back in. Can Saka get the better of Nuno Mendes? If those things happen, and let's say Partey comes back but he doesn't have a great game, then you're relying on your defense, which there's no Gabriel there, who I think is Arsenal's best defender. Saliba, for me, has been pretty shaky this season, but has kind of gone under the radar. Ray has been excellent this season, if I'm going to be honest, but he's just a goalkeeper at the end of the day. He can only do so much. If the shots are too good, he can't save them. But also, is Dembele going to be available for PSG? Because I think you can see when Dembele's not there, he doesn't near as well.
Well, we normally record this show on Wednesday mornings. Both our minds might change by next Wednesday, based on injuries, updates, and everything else that's going on. I did want to get your take on this, though, from the game. What did you make of this?
Terry, you gotta warn me before you bring up stuff, man. But I mean, again, it's the whole. Shall I tell you what it is? This is where Arsenal don't help themselves. Mikel Arteta released a video. Why he did that, I don't know. He released a video, and then you're thinking, oh, they might do something special tonight, and then they produce that. It's like, oh, you guys aren't getting it. And again, I'm not even trying to take the mick here. this is where Man United and Liverpool fall into a different category. You see, if there's a European night, these two teams are unmatched when it comes to European nights. I'm talking about proper Man United, not the Man United we're seeing now. I'm talking about Barcelona's coming to town, Real Madrid's coming to town. You might lose the game, but the fans are going to make sure it's a fight. And I just don't think you can create that just overnight. And also, I don't think you can just release a video and create that. I think the fans in there kind of have to do that. I don't think the manager doing a rally call can just make that happen. Like, that's something that you build up to. And for whatever reason, they don't get it right when it comes to like.
Yeah, I feel I didn't like the way the fans behaved on the night when the goal went in, the atmosphere dropped. But I almost feel like the build up to the game, I likened it to, when you're looking forward to it might be the final season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And there's hype. And then it ends in a certain way, or a certain character gets killed. And then everyone goes, all right, shit now.
Yeah.
I feel like that's because sometimes in life you can build something up. Now, maybe the best example, young men, maybe none of you have experienced this. There might be a lady that you've been liking for a long time, talking to for a long time, chasing for a long time. And, you've gone on a few dates and you're falling for each other, and you got the belly flies, the butterflies in your belly and everything of belly flies. You got all of this. And then the night comes and she's like, I'm all yours. That is code, by the way, for consent. She gives consent, right? I've got to put that out there. We live in a mad world now, right?
Yeah.
I'm all yours. You can do with me as you please, right? Whatever it is, I consent.
Yeah.
And then you get on with the business, you finish. And this has happened to most of us. And by the way, it's happened to a lot of women as well. It's not a man thing only. You lay there and go, oh, that was shit.
Yeah, you
built up this fantasy and this expectation that it was going to be amazing, and maybe you just didn't click, and we've all done that. Like, I've never actually said this out loud, but we've all done it where you're like, oh, I really fancy her. You kiss him and you're like, the way you both kiss ain't kind of compatible. It's like, she kisses different from me. This happens. And I felt like that was Arsenal. It was almost this huge anticipation. They conceded early. The Tifo was crap. And then it went, the whole thing went completely flat. The sad part is these were the fan designed Tifos they wanted that Arsenal rejected. Now they look really good. They look, in comparison, they are really, really good. You have 2 or 3 of them up around the stadium. Everybody else holding the sort of red and white little placards to make this. You could have made that look far better. What they did was it was horrendous. And I hope they learned from that. Listen, that's where clubs should listen to the fans, Joey Barton. That is where they should listen to the fans 100%, because the fan designs, again, it's Arsenal's football club. I loved our one. With all the sort of people that have won our European Cups holding them. I was like, there's some
those are just beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, the Europeans do them to a level that we don't
like
even.
The Dortmund wall, for example. Bloody, oh my
God. It's
even Galatasaray and them teams, they do it to perfection.
There was one I saw, right? I need to find the picture. I mean, there's the one I saw was just. And it was like it was like it was alive, the way it was moving. I can't find it now. Is that the one? No, that isn't the one, but there's loads like it. But yeah, just phenomenal. And I just think to myself, there's one. I mean, look at this one here, right? If you want to create it's going to take me a second just to get this up on the screen, right? Because I've got to make the overlay. It's not as simple as just, ladies and gentlemen, it's not as simple as just pasting these things when we're doing this. But you look at this here. This one is just phenomenal. You want to create an atmosphere. You want to create a little bit of intimidation. It's the flares that bring this, or the smoke bombs that bring this to life as well. Plus, again, look at this, mate. It's one of the best ones I've seen. The color ain't great for you or me, to be honest, but it's other than the color, it's fine. Look at that.
Crazy.
It's just phenomenally good.
Yeah.
And I feel like unless you're going to do it properly,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Like drop it out. Don't do it. Sing your songs and everything else. And that. Although North London Forever gets a lot of stick, and I don't actually think it's a bad song. I don't.
There's not much again, they've stolen a few songs off other teams, innit? And it's like, oh, it's a bit cringy doing that. Make up your own song. And the thing is, when you look at from
you guys stole "You'll Never Walk Alone" from Man United. To be fair,
this isn't about us though, Terry. But like Arsenal, actually, as a fan base, they're a very creative fan base. Like let's call it what it is. Like even merch and the stuff they do, like they're a trendy club. They are. You can say what you want about them. They're a trendy club. I just think it falls flat when it's in the stadium. I just, for whatever reason, they can't translate it. Maybe it is the restrictions from those higher ups, etc. Because I didn't know about the tifos that got rejected.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe they need to, as you said, start listening to fans more.
Well, that's what happens when you allow too much corporate influence, I think, at your football club, because some they banned them for they said no to them, maybe how they looked, because one looks like Squid Game and that's about murder, and one's sort of like a casino thing and that's like gambling. We can't do it, and I understand that, but I don't think those TiVos are going to suddenly make people start creating murderous game shows. It's like slow down a little bit here. It's kind of crazy, but theme songs are really interesting because I don't necessarily dislike the North London Forever song. It's not a song I would sing, but I listen to it. I'm like, I can get why it's a good song. The one for me is "You'll Never Walk Alone." I hate it, but love it at the same time, and it's a family thing. So when I was a little kid, my and it's a very emotive thing for me. Most of my nan's side of the family, my dad's mum's side, are dead now. Like I've got second cousins and like distant relatives that are around that we can stay in contact with, but all of my nans, barring two now, all of her brothers and sisters are dead. Even a lot of, because my nan was like the youngest of her siblings, even quite a lot of like my great aunties and uncles have gone, like my dad's cousins, right? So the family's kind of deteriorated that end, and you know it's gone away. But when we were little kids, the parties were just amazing, and we used to, like, throughout the summer, we just go to all these lovely family parties, and I'd absolutely love it. And what I never realized, there was quite a lot of Liverpool fans in our family. I didn't know though when I was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 per se. And at the end of most of the parties, "You Never Walk Alone" was played. And because it was such a beautiful day being with all your family, it was like the song was always played at the end. I used to kind of like it. Then I got older and realized it was Liverpool's theme tune. So "You'll Never Walk Alone" as this horrible thing for me where I think of Liverpool and I'm like, arseholes. But then every time I hear it, it takes me back to being 5 years old, sitting on my granddad's knee at a family party and loving it. And it's like, fuck you. I hate it. It's the worst thing because it takes me home. It takes me back to being a kid.
Terry, don't you think that's a sign? Don't you think that's a sign from God to just be a Liverpool fan?
But the thing is, one of the reasons I picked Manchester United was, and again, I only know this. Well, how did you not know that was a Liverpool song? I only know these things because my elders have told us back. I don't remember everything I did as a 5, 6-year-old. But one of the reasons I picked Man United was because it was the opposite of Liverpool. It was like I've always been a bit like I'm not gonna. So when The Sopranos was out and everyone was watching it, I didn't. I waited for Game of Thrones to end before I watched it. I don't like to. I've always been a bit like that. Like if everyone else is wearing those trainers, I'm gonna find a different pair in JD to wear. I've always just been a bit like that as a person, and I don't really know why. I was doing it as a 5, 6-year-old because they all supported Liverpool. I kind of picked Man United, and it was because I used to see them. I'd be at home, the games would be on, and they'd be ripping into Man United, and I felt a bit sorry for them. So it was a bit like, well, I'll support them. And I always tell this story. I remember one vivid memory I have is going, I'm going to be a Man United fan. This was in like 1989, 1990, and they laughed at me. You're rubbish, basically. The next 25 years is amazing.
You
right?
were laughing.
It was fantastic. But no, "You'll Never Walk Alone" is horrible for me in that way because I obviously don't like Liverpool. When I hear it one thing that always gets on my nerves sometimes, I remember watching an FA Cup semi you had against Everton, and I'm like, hang on, why are they allowing your anthem to be played, but not Everton's that they walk out onto the pitch to? I was honestly apoplectic. I think that's the right word for it. I was seething. I was like, hang on, that isn't fair. Give the Liverpool players and the fans a taste of home life, but yet Everton can't have their bloody. Everton's one's awful, by the way, but they don't. Yeah, it is. I mean, they love it, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. But equally, the Leyton Orient's one I like. Not because I used to go to some of the games because our school got free season tickets, but it was because, like, growing up on the estate I did, I love my housing estate I grew up on. And every match day you would hear when the players come out. I don't know what the name of the song is, but the song is like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It was like a little tune like that. And you used to hear it across the whole housing estate whenever it was played. And it was like, again, I hear that. If anytime I hear that, I just go back to being a kid, playing out my friends, you know what I mean, in the Rochers, skating around the housing estate, having a great time. Do you know what I mean? It's no, it's old school. I know you've got to shoot in a second, but I wanted to play this clip and just get your opinion on this, mate. Sorry, I've got this clip here to show you about Champions League football. Let's see your thoughts on it. Actually, no, we'll skip that one and do that another time. We'll do it after next week's. I wanted to play you this clip from the overlap. Let's take a little listen.
And is it good enough for Manchester United? Is that a step in the right direction?
I think there's a lot of players good enough for Man United at the minute. No, I think he's a top player, and for Man United it's difficult because a lot of players have gone there with ability and reputation and have struggled over the last few years. So it's difficult. I think what United at the minute need to do is really identify a core group of players who can help sustain the club over the next 2 or 3 years, and instead of going for, which they've done in the past with Lukaku, with Pogba, with Zlatan, going for superstars and names, which I don't think Cunha's at that level at the minute, but they need to really get it, and plus financial fair play might hit United as well. So,
what do you make of the Cunha link, and do you think signings like that will work at Man United?
I think you need signings like that, Terry. I think Wayne's right there. You've got to move away from the superstar stuff at the moment, because all that's happening is killing your wage bill. The expectation goes through the roof, and they're not able to match the expectation. I think, it's going to be difficult for Man United fans probably at the beginning, because you're used to signing superstar players. Like in my lifetime, I only know you to sign superstar players. But you kind of have to move away from that now and sign the right players, whether they're a good name or a well-known name or not. I look at someone like Diallo, for example. Anthony came in, Sancho came in, you had Rashford there and all these other players. Massive reputations, big money, big fees. Diallo's the one that you guys look to this season and go, he's got to be our inspiration to get over the line here. And that's because you got the player recruitment right. And now, granted, Anthony's done well in Spain, but I think we can all understand that Spain and England are two different animals. Man United, for me, going after someone like a Cunha, who is at a lower team, but performing at a lower team, and then bringing him into the system that will probably work because you're playing the 2-10 behind the striker, in my opinion, that's Cunha's best position, is playing off a striker. For me, makes all the sense in the world. You can sit there and go, oh, we want to go and get a Kvaratskhelia when he's available. Okay, is Kvaratskhelia going to fit into the 3-4-3 system? Is he going to fit into the 3-4-2-1 system? Probably not as well as Cunha, even though Kvaratskhelia is a better player. So I think this is maybe not just a Man United exclusive thing. This is a football thing. Just because a player has a great name, just because a player is a great footballer, doesn't necessarily mean that player is going to fit in well in the system that you have designed by the manager. And I think it's more important to get a player who's right for the system to get a player who's the brand name, such as. Like,
I agree. And you mentioned like Delola, that was an 18 million pound signing, outperforming all of our 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 million pound winger signings that we've made over the course of the last few years. Yeah. I like it because I think he plays that he'll play that 10 role fantastically well. I look at most of the big names, not big names as such, but all the players we're linked to. We're linked to Jonathan Tah, that's leaving Leverkusen as an example. Been playing in the back three. You know, you've got like Gyökeres that we're linked to. Literally has played this system before. Ignacio's been playing at Sporting, and it's about getting that mixture right for me in terms of moving forward. And it's not about lowering expectations, because you hear a lot of this in football fandom now. You can't lower the expectations, but you've got to go and buy the best.
No.
Sometimes the best are not. It's one of the criticisms Pep gets. Could Pep go to a club struggling on the up and up and help them build, or is he just so used to the high life now, which is I go into a good squad with a massive budget to make it a brilliant squad within a year or so. That's the level that he operates at now. Players are the same. I think some of these star players, Kvaratskhelia being one of them, I don't think he wants to leave a Napoli, who are sort of like this, to join a team that might take 2 or 3 years to get to the top. He wanted to go to a club that was ready to deliver and perform straight away. And I love what Amorim said yesterday, because he was asked a question about Gyökeres, if Champions League football will help get him. And he just said, Some will say it's unrealistic, but I like it because we've been stung a lot in 12 years. He said any player that will only join us if we've got Champions League football isn't right for the club. We need players that want to come here and buy into what we are right now and will help us get back to the top. And I have to agree with him. I think that's the absolute right attitude. And it's again, people keep talking about, I don't understand why we've got any faith in Ineos and Amorim turning it around. I get rivals not understanding, but any Man United fan that can't see the difference in the messaging and the way even the way we're operating. And now I hope that there is proof in the pudding and we sign players that are like that and we see the improvement on the pitch. But we haven't had that attitude. And we know that the way we signed Di Maria, the way we signed Alexis Sanchez, to name two, we went out and bought Fred when no one at the club really wanted him. We just went and spent the money. Exactly. All those signings, I don't think are going to happen anymore. That way of operating. And it wasn't just we made signing that didn't work. We hemorrhaged so much money in that time on the wrong people. So, yeah, I'm quite happy with it, to be fair. And Cunha is a good player. He'll score us a lot. He'll score quite a few goals and will improve us. But viewers, look, love to get your opinions on that, people. Cal, always a pleasure to sit here and talk football with you. Please go and subscribe right now to Coppish TV, the best Liverpool platform on the planet. So make sure you get over there right now. Great watch-alongs, great content, even though they're a bunch of smug bastards right now. Go over there.
Worse.
Go and support it, people. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.